Good morning, everybody.
Namaste. Good morning. How are you?
Morning. Good. Just recovering from I didn't know that taking a shingles vaccine is so bad.
Oh,
Last, last 2 days I was knocked out.
ah,
Just a fever, body ache, but I'm fine today.
mostly the place they give the shot hurts for a while,
Yeah,
right?
right. Mohan is also, I think. Mohan, good morning.
Namaste. Good morning, everyone. Good evening to Mohan and to
Yeah,
all those in that side of the world.
Good morning. Yes.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
the rain havoc was so much in Bangalore.
Yeah. Yes.
Hmm.
There is a
Rain havoc. We had a lot of hailstones falling on.
Yeah.
And see, this is the new normal or climate change problem, no? We had a 10 centimeter rain in that central business district they call, no? MG Road, Brigade Road, and 10 centimeters rain in 1 hour with
That's called
hailstones.
a cloud burst.
It's happening more often. It used to be a rare thing. Now it is. So it's almost like full April. Normally they have an average rainfall number. We reached that number in 1 hour.
Actually, those things used to happen in Delhi years back, and probably it still happens. This kind of violent weather used to happen in Delhi, cloud burst. So what I'm thinking is Bangalore is getting towards that kind of Delhi weather.
No, it's changing quite a bit. That's one. Secondly, we have micro weather. So entire Bangalore doesn't experience the rain. We are maybe so big.
Yeah.
So we once on Wednesday it rained in the north, then Thursday it rained in the south. I mean the center, and Friday it rained in the south.
They've scheduled the rain.
Looks like.
Yeah, because in summer the rain is never widespread until you get to the monsoon season.
Monsoon.
Cloud, yeah.
So this is all pre-monsoon disturbances, whatever.
Yeah. So today also we are expecting rain to come later in the evening. That's a weather warning.
Okay. Okay, people, it's 7 o'clock. Let's get started. Start with 3 ohms as usual. Namaste, everyone. See, Lakshmi, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Oh, योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरुत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणम् सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं श्रीमते अनन्ताय नागराजाय नमो नमः. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. We share the screen. Priya, I can only see your forehead.
Morning, Kumarji. Was leaning on the chair. Backside.
Let me share the screen here. We left off at Sutra 419. So let's go back. Okay. So this is where we started the sutra. Vastu samye chitta beda tayoho vibhaktaha pantaha. So this is where we saw, actually we conducted a poll previous week. So this is where we said the material is the same, irrespective of what you see in this world, the material, the fundamental particles are the same. But what makes the element or the atom in that element different is the chitta. But the chitta differs, and hence their paths, perceptions are different. So that's what we saw. Going on down. Nacha ekachitta tantram vastu sat apramanakam tada kim sayat. So he says, and because of the difference in the chitta, the flow of energy, the tantram, the flow of each chitta is not being the same. Therefore, the matter is perceived differently. And so he is asking the question, what is the possibility of proving that oneness of matter or object? How do we prove this to the common people? That's what the question he is raising. It's a rhetorical question. So the same holds for each molecule of anything. How can one know the same matter of electrons, protons, and neutrons form elements which bundle in combinations to form molecules with different properties? So that's what it's saying. Then matter is known or unknown by the expected coloring of the chitta. So the chitta is the one which is going to make the matter look different. That's what he's saying. And that's what we know. And that's why we say gold looks different from carbon, because of the chitta is different in both of them. And so with all the other elements and things like that. And finally, everything in this that we perceive in this world is made of those elements. This is what we saw in the periodic table, including our human body. It's a constituent of all the various elements that we saw. We saw some examples, and then we said, because Purusha is unaffected, the Chitta's expressions are always known by the Lord Creator. We saw this sutra. Because Purusha is beyond all this. Because he is not a Chitta. He is the one who created the Chitta, or helped in creating the Chitta. The main designer. And we also saw this sutra that the Chitta is not self-luminescent. That is, all its light, meaning all its wisdom, has to come from above. It doesn't have anything on its own. This is what we saw. So this is what I have been hammering from day one, that all our intelligence, there is nothing called self-intelligence. Maybe self-memory. The intelligence that came in, we store it and then we say, oh, I'm intelligent. So any questions up to that? Okay, let's move on to this new sutra.
Kumar,
Yes.
how you doing, everyone? There's some box in the middle of the screen. I tried to
Oh.
move it. I don't know if anyone else has that or not. It says, please remove this window away
can
from the
see.
shared.
Escape.
Okay, finally it's gone.
Yep.
No?
Came back again.
It's not doing- let me do it. What I can do is let me stop the share. Go back into it again. If you are better,
Yes, sir.
you're all right.
Mm-hmm.
एकसमये च उभय अनवधारणम् एकसाम्ये च उभय अनवधारणम् Ekasamya. Eka means one. Not samya, samaya. Samaya means any point of time. It refers to time. So at one time, cha we know is and or also. Ubhaya is both. Anavadharana means cannot be ascertained or affirmed or determined. Avadharanam is ascertainment, affirmation, limitation. So this is the opposite of that. Anavadharana means it's an antonym of avadharana. So in summary, he says also at one time, both cannot be determined, the Chitta and the Purusha. So how do you understand this? So when the Chitta is active, meaning with Chitta Vrittis, because the Chitta produces the Chitta Vrittis, the Purusha at that time takes a back seat. We know this because we don't have energy to connect with the Chitta because the computing system, the Chitta, takes up all the energy. So at that time, you don't see the Purusha. So to see the Purusha, the Chitta has to go on vacation for some time. It has to fall silent, meaning the Chitta Vrittis have to die down. If the Chitta Vrittis are dying down, the Chitta has no work. The Chitta is going to have a lot of energy by itself. And that period, you are going to be able to see the Purusha meaning, you will be able to connect with the Purusha. That's what it means. So this is the meaning of the sutra. So at one time, either the Purusha is fully active or the Chitta is fully active, not both. So this comes back to um, modern life. Even in computer terminology, we'll say multitasking. So we'll say that uh, my phone can do multitask, my laptop can do multitasking, because various applications we open and we can do that. But in essence, if you see, it gives a maya, it gives an illusion that it is doing multiple things. But at any point of time, if you look deeply into a laptop, if you go up to the processor, the Intel processor inside, it can be processing only one instruction, and that instruction is belonging to a particular application. You may have 10 applications open, and it may going from one to the other. It looks from outside as though it is doing 10 tasks. But at any instant, if you look, it will be only one instruction of one application. So we can bring that understanding to here and say, at any point of time, only one of them is active, either the Purusha is active or the Chitta is active. Make sense? Any question?
I have a question, Kumar.
Yeah.
See, I thought it is the Chitta which connects to Ishvara, right?
Correct.
So, what does this mean that? When the Chitta connects to Purusha is Ishvara, I'm assuming, correct? Same term.
When we say Chitta connects to Ishvara, we are talking about a component in Chitta that's connecting to Ishvara. That component is the Purusha. Each one of us, we carry that Purusha, that piece of software, the modem.
No, but 418 talks of Purusha in a different context, like as the creator, right?
Yeah.
So Purusha is used to mean Ishvara or that part of Chitta in us?
Really, sometimes they used it that way. Mostly they will clearly say Sattva Purusha to not to have that confusion. What you say, I think hold on. Let me get to the
So
other.
here Purusha is that part of Chitta which connects to Ishvara.
Correct.
Okay.
That's why he says Prabhoho Purushasya. See? Prabhoho. He has prefixed it with Prabhoho.
Okay.
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 Any questions on this one? On Sutra 20? Okay. So everyone is clear with that. Let's move on to 21.
Look at this.
Chitta antaradrishye buddhi buddhehe atiprasangah smriti sankarah cha. Chitta antaradrishye buddhi buddhehe atiprasanga smriti sankarah cha. So let's see. Chitta, we know. Antara is inside. Drishye is to see or seeing. So putting all the three words together, Chitta Antara Drishye, seeing, seeing inside the Chitta, Buddhi Buddhehe. Buddhi is intelligence, wisdom. And buddhi buddhehe, the intelligence within the intelligence. That is what it means. Buddhi buddhehe. Ati prasanga is highly associated internally or recursive. Smriti sankara. Memory is sankara. Sankara means confusion. So we have seen this earlier too. Sankara. Smriti sankara is memory is confused or mixed up. Chavina, and also that is seeing inside the chitta, the intelligence within the intelligence is recursive and memory is confused. Meaning, maybe this question, some kind of question like this, Ashwini probably raised. So trying to understand from our chitta, trying to understand the non-existent controlling chitta. Okay. Or we are trying to go from this chitta, we try to look deeper and deeper into it to finally see Purusha in this. We are trying to see the chitta of the Purusha, and we know that there is nothing called a chitta for the Purusha, right? So that's what he says. When you try to do that, the chitta gets confused and it goes in a recursive. It goes into a recursive loop. It goes into a loop and gets confused. That's what it means. Meaning, going deeply into our chitta, seeing deeply in our chitta, trying to find out from this if you can get a connection, backward connection into the chitta of the Purusha, which is non-existent, right? There is no chitta for the Purusha. We don't know what that is. That's why he is beyond everything. Our memory gets confused. Our chitta gets confused. That's what it is saying.
Correct, Kumarji. I have been pondering on the question, and after a little bit of research, I kind of understood that. I mean, I had more references and more examples. I understand now that time dimension cannot be applied to Purusha, and I also understand that at one point of time where our body and mind is limited, we cannot imagine the extent of it with logical reasoning, and it's like because we are human being. As a human being, if we have to understand Purusha, we just give him a form of a human, and like try to limit with the character and something, and then try to understand. Otherwise, the limitless and then uh, beyond and no form cannot be understood by a human mind.
That is why
Yeah.
if you go to any of these IMAX theaters and try to see a film on space, and once when you go and see that, there is an awe. Oh, I'm such a tiny thing, and see, until everything is on ground, we feel safe. We feel secure. The moment we take off into space, we kind of lose our bearings, and that's when we become insecure.
Correct.
That insecurity we are not able to handle. And that's why we try to see, oh, if this great energy, can I perceive it with which with the known things that I know. And that's where the problem arises.
100%. I mean, like the words given by all the sutras and then scripture,
Yes.
it explains, what we can comprehend is totally two different things. And it takes a lot of time to, I mean, for me at least, it took a lot of time to understand what is the meaning of limitless, formless, and then, I'm slow learner, slow bloomer.
See, mathematically, we say infinite, right?
Mm, mm,
On the one hand, we say understand. I understand infinity.
mm.
On the other hand, I'm trying to take that infinity and make it something understandable to me. How can you?
True. Yeah. Yeah. The moment we try to measure infinite, it loses its characteristics. Yeah.
It's like a child when you ask a 3 or 4 year old child, typically, you say, "I love you lots," and the child will say, "I love you lots more." And then you say, "How much?" It will spread its arms on both sides and say, "This much," right? It's actually indicating infinity. Very beautifully, it is indicating infinity. So, what the child is saying is, it is much bigger than what I can tell you in terms of numbers or whatever. And since it doesn't have the word infinite in its vocabulary, it is spreading both its arms and says, "This much."
Mm.
And as we grow, we are trying to find a definition for that spreading both arms. Instead of understanding and accepting that spreading of both arms is undefinable. So it's not just understanding, it is accepting.
100%. Yes.
So like counting stars on the sky. When in comparison to Ishvara, maybe the stars are finite because he created them. Anyways, Ati Prasanga has been interpreted. Let's read this a little. Ati Prasanga has been interpreted as highly associated internally or recursive in this translation. In popular translations, Ati Prasanga is interpreted as endless or infinite, and therefore such translations read as, if the perception of a mind within a mind is postulated, such infinite numbers of mind within a mind would confuse the memory. In our opinion, while this may convey the intended meaning, it is not the correct translation. There is no word in the text that suggests the word if or postulate, and such a translation is not correct, but the intent may be correct, since the idea of mind within a mind leading to confusion is there in the real translation. Okay. We don't have to go too much into that. So we saw 21. Let's move on. Let's read. Oh, we already read this. 18 to 21. Yeah, we read this last week. So at least we'll read out the points. It may be kind of good review. So, Sutra 18 to 21, we have seen all of them. These sutras continue the elaboration of the nature of existence. Here, the elaboration is the nature of the Purusha versus the Chitta. So this is what we are, the difference we are saying, the understanding. While matter's perception in the world is colored by the Chitta, the Purusha is not constrained in this respect, right? While matter's perception in the world is colored by the Chitta, that is when we see, we are not truly seeing, right? Because our Chitta, meaning the samskaras in the Chitta, is coloring them. Whereas the Purusha is not constrained in this respect at all, because the Purusha's domain is that of a creator, Prabhu, who understands everything. The Chitta is not self-luminous, but rather it is the Purusha behind the Chitta that gives it luminosity or expression, correct? So that's where we are saying everything comes from there. Somebody has the question.
Still, I don't understand the Purusha different from Isvara. Can you clarify the Purusha difference between Purusha and Isvara?
We have been in this class for 8 months.
Yeah, but I mean, Isvara, all the time
Purusha
it is
is inside us.
Oh.
That is the modern part. So then we say Sattva Purusha or Ishvara. So Ishvara is represented as Sattva Purusha. Sometimes even that Sattva may be dropped and he will be called Purusha. Prabhu is another way he is addressed. So here, when he says the Purusha is not constrained in this respect, he is really speaking about the Sattva Purusha or Ishvara. Since the Purusha's domain is that of creator, Prabhu who understands everything.
Mm-hmm.
The Chitta is not self-luminous. We know that very well. It doesn't have anything by itself to be luminescent. The light comes from above. So, but rather it is the Purusha behind the Chitta that gives it the luminosity. At the same time, one cannot determine both the Chitta and the Purusha. That also we know, because the Chitta has to fall silent before the Purusha shines. Mental effort to see the seer behind the Chitta by conception is a useless mental exercise that creates infinite recursive logic loop. So this is what I was telling Ashwini maybe a few weeks back. There are useful questions and there are useless questions. Useful abhyasa and useless abhyasa. So this one, Patanjali Muni is pointing out, mental effort to see the seer behind the Chitta is a useless abhyasa. Behind the Chitta by conception is a useless mental exercise that creates infinite recursive logic loop. The first point refers to the Purusha being the intelligence of God that comes through the wireless transmitter receiver. So this should make it very clear. Where is the wireless transmitter receiver? Suresh ji? Where is the wireless transmitter receiver?
Receiver is a wireless receiver is a Chitta. Chitta
It's
receives.
inside each one of us. Chitta is not
Yeah.
the wireless transmitter. No, that's not the Chitta. It is the Purusha in each one of us.
Mm-hmm.
It is that modem, that wireless transmitter receiver is the modem. But it is software, it is not a hardware piece.
Mm-hmm.
Or in another word, it is also the Hridaya Chakra. Hridaye Chitta Samvid. we saw a sutra which said, Hridaye Chitta Samved. All the Vidya, all over Vidya is located in the Hridaya Chakra. Hridaye. That is the Chitta's luminescence is coming from this Hridaya Chakra. That is where the Purusha is residing. That is where the intelligence is. That is the wisdom. That's what it's saying. The third point relates to the Ashtanga Yoga lesson Patanjali has been teaching. To see the presence of the Purusha, one has to hibernate the expressions of the Chitta. Correct? The Chittavrittis have to become silent. They have to fall silent. It has to be controlled. It has to go into hibernation. At that time, the Chitta is not seen. Correct? Chittavrittis are not seen. The Chitta is also not seen because the Chitta has nothing to do. Yes, people?
Yes.
Yes. Don't keep quiet. And when you keep quiet, I think you're all nodding your head. And then when I post a poll, all the skeletons fall off the cupboard. Good in a way, but you might as well clear out the cupboard here. So, the second sentence says, to see the presence of the Purusha, one has to hibernate the expressions of the Chitta. We understand that. And that is the reason why in Ashtanga Yoga we say Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. And in the state of Samadhi, everything is quiet. There are no Chittavrittis, so Chitta has no work. So there is a lot of energy in our system for the Purusha to get activated, the modem to get activated, in other words. At that time, when everything is in hibernation, the Chitta is not seen. We don't see the Chitta. But rather the connection with the root source in Samadhi. So he has come to Samadhi now. So in the state of Samadhi, that root source, what is the root source? Tatra niratishyam sarvagnya tattva bijam. We saw the sutra. Tatra niratishyam sarvagnya tattva bijam. What is the root source?
Ishvara.
Ishvara. When the Chitta's expressions are fully activated, it is generally not possible to see the connection with the root source, the Purusha. That we know very well, right? That is our normal state, where we function as if we don't have a connection to Chitta. And we also, because of this constant activity of the Chitta and the Chittavrittis, rather, we think that we can never connect to Purusha. That's what it makes us, that Maya it produces. You are too lowly. You have too much of sanskaras. And you have been living like this forever. So you will never be able to connect with all these teachings of Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And every Saturday that you are waking up early, giving up sleep, or whatever other things that you could do, is all wasted. That's what it will tell. That's the purpose of the kleshas. So when the Chitta's expressions are fully activated, it is generally not possible to see the connection with the root source, the Purusha. Are you understanding, Priya?
Yes.
This is clearly stated for you. And for you and many others who are not opening their mouth. So actually, yesterday and day before yesterday for 2 days, I have been communicating with many of you on poll 29, 28 or 29, whatever it was. And it has been pretty intense. Yesterday, actually, I went to bed around 11:45. My final client was Gayatri. After she said, "Oh, now I understand," I said, "Good night." So, the time to understand is here. So don't go nodding off. I am saying I understand. When you don't understand, you have to ask. Anyways, okay. We understand all that. Can we move on to the next sutra? Any questions up to this?
Oh, one question, but in the previous class, you mentioned the state of Buddha is not reach the God, but all the chittavrittis are quiet and
Yes.
so even the chittavrittis are quiet, and why he has not seen the Ishvara?
Because he didn't go to the state of samadhi. See, Priya, you have to clearly understand that anything beyond
Yeah, okay.
Savitarka Samapatti. Up to Savitarka Samapatti, you can put effort. Beyond that, we said, the sutra in chapter 1, it says, Nirvichara Vaisharadhyehe Adhyatma Prasadaha. Nirvichara Vaisharadhyehe. Nirvichara means that reflection, deep reflection. For the deep reflection, the chitta vrittis have to, at least some of it has to quieten down. And in that moment of when it becomes fully silent, that nirvichara happens. So that's why he says nirvichara vaisharadhya. For nirvichara to happen, adhyatma prasada. It is a prasada. It is a gift from the Ishvara. It is a gift from Ishvara. So don't conclude that if you go from dharana to dhyana, samadhi will, by default, it will occur. No.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Got it
Yeah.
now.
Very good. Okay. On to Chitta 22. Chittehe aprati sankara mayaha tat akara pathau swabuddhi samvedanam. Chittehe aprati sankara mayaha tat akara pathau swabuddhi samvedanam. Chittehe of the chitta.
But chittehe is spelled differently, Kumar. In Sanskrit, it is chittehe, it is written. The first word in Sanskrit is written as chittehe, not chittehe.
I said chittehe.
No, I'm reading the text on the screen.
Oh, see, the English part?
No, the Sanskrit part.
The Sanskrit part is saying chittehe.
But if it is chitte, then there should be half that is not shown. Maybe it's a spelling mistake.
Oh, you're saying chittehe.
It
Right?
is chittehe is what is read there.
But there is no an extra it.
Half the has to come before full the. Yeah. Chitta is
Yeah, maybe I'm pronouncing it not correctly. Should be chitte. I don't know how to. Yeah,
maybe
so you're
no,
saying that there is an it that is missing. Maybe
in
I'll
the
check.
text.
Remember, there's two dots there, right? This concern hey, like Nama.
No, that
the
she
two dots,
understood. That she understood.
Nama. Yeah.
No, that she understood. That normally she understood that part. She's saying because I'm saying it, there is an it
It
that we
is
are.
not there in the Sanskrit text.
So whenever you say te, chit, chit, chi, chite he. Probably I should say.
I should be pronounced chichehe. I hope it is same as chitte.
Correct. Yeah.
Same way the
Maybe there
last
is a
the last three words also swa bedhi it is written. I think it's buddhi, no?
buddhi.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's a
Should be buddhi, right?
yes, correct.
Okay.
The stroke is in the wrong place. I'll make a note. Printers div 422. Wait, write it down. Okay. Chitehe. That's what you want me to read, but I think there should be a it there, maybe. Okay. Chitehe. So of the chitta, so the next word, prati sankara mayaha. So the a, he has taken just the a to say that it is an antonym. Prati is forward. We know that. Sankara mayaha. Moving and crossing boundaries. See, Sankara, we saw earlier. Sankara, we have seen Sankara a few times. Sankara means confusion. When not in one place, moving around. That's the meaning in that's the meaning for Sankara. So Sankara Mayaha means moving and crossing boundaries. Sankara Mayaha, sorry, not Mayaha, Maya. So Aprati Sankara Mayaha means going into stillness, motionlessness, receded, etc. Completely still. That is Aprati Sankara Mayaha. Okay? No going. Prati is forward and backward. No going forward and backward. Sankara Mayaha is going around. So no forward and backward motion, no circular motion, nothing. Because of the A in front of that, because of the A. Aprati. A. So completely still. Tat akara pattau, getting an idea of that shape. Swabuddhi, samvedanam, sensation of one's buddhi or intelligence is felt, feels its own intellect. So let us see. In summary, it means the receded, motionless chitta. So now the chitta has fallen silent because of the state of dhyana and you have gone into. Because it has become silent, because the chitta vrittis have fallen silent, the chitta has no work to do. Everything is quiet. By getting the receded chitta now, motionless chitta, by getting an idea of its shape, feels its own intellect. Because the chitta has fallen silent, now it is getting an idea of its own intellect. What is that? It is getting in touch with the Purusha. So let us, he says in parenthesis, says the self-intellect, swabuddhi, is felt when the chitta in a motionless state gets an idea of its shape or form. The same idea, waxing and waning chitta, looking the same, leading to samadhi, is noted in 311, Sutra 311. I don't know how many of you recall that Sutra 311. So we said in 310, he said there are two sutras preceding that, 9 and 10. In Sutra 9, in chapter 3, we said Trayam Antarangam Purvebhyah. And then we said Tat Api Bahirangam Nirbijasya. And then following that Sutra 310, Tat Api Bahirangam Nirbijasya, we said that. And following that in Sutra 11, we said Vyutana Sanskara Yoho Abhibhava Pradurbhava Nirodha Chanachitta Anvayo Nirodha Parinamaha. Vyutana Nirodha Sanskara Yoho, he said that. Abhibhava Pradurbhava. That's what he's referring to here. The Abhibhava Pradurbhava is that waxing and waning and all that. That's what he's talking. So the same idea, waxing and waning chitta, looking the same, leading to samadhi, is noted in 3. It's similar to that. That's what it is. So the chitta has become motionless, and so going into samadhi, and you are able to see the Purusha or the self-intelligence. So the self-intelligence is coming from where? It's coming from Purusha. Any questions here? Okay, let's move on. Drashtri Drishya Uparaktam Chittam Sarvartam. Drashtri Drishya Uparaktam Chittam Sarvartam. So let's see what it is. Drashtri, the seer. Drishya, the sight, or that which is seen. Uparaktam, coloring or superimposition. Drashtri Drishya Uparaktam means by superimposition of the seer and the seen. That is the sight. Chittam Sarvartam. The Chittam understands everything. The Chitta understands everything. Makes full sense when the seer and the sight color it or superimpose on it. That is, when the seer and the seen becomes one and the same. When that happens, oh, he also says this is the process of samyama. He says that right underneath. So there, because the chitta becomes completely obedient to the Purusha, and all the other things have fallen silent. Everything else has fallen silent. Because our samskaras have completely fallen silent, the chitta is now becomes obedient to the wisdom of the Purusha. So that's what it says. The chitta now understands everything. Okay. Okay. Any questions here? I mean, these are all in bits and pieces we have seen in other chapters. Now everything is present. All that we have seen in bits and pieces.
I think there must be one caveat here saying drashtri and drishya when it is superimposed, but vrittis has like I think it is continuation from the previous sutra. I don't know, but
Yes, all sutras
okay.
are in. See, that is the meaning of sutra. Sutra means forward pointer and backward pointer.
Correct. So, I mean, when the seer and the sight becomes one in the absence of chitta vrittis,
Correct.
then chitta understands everything. Okay, got it.
Yeah. This follows from the previous sutra. Tat asankyeya vasanabhihi chitramapi parartam sanhatya karitvat tat asankyeya vasanabhihi chitram api parartam. Actually, in the English thing, after PAR, there should be two A's, or you have to put a A with a bar on top to say it is a it is parartam. Sanghatya, that is another printers they will note down, and maybe I can inform. Asankhya, innumerable, countless. Sankhya means count. We know Sankhya means count. Asankhya means innumerable, countless. Tat asankhya vasanabhihi. Vasana we know, right? That which comes from the karma that that comes from the previous, but the flavor of what we have done. That having innumerable inclinations or impressions. That's what that having innumerable inclinations or impressions. Chitram, picture or image. This is not chittam, it is chitram. So be careful. Api, even though, also, parartham, for the sake of another. For a higher purpose. Sanghatya, implied meaning is equal in association or conjunction. Or original meaning for the sake of complete destruction of illusion. So we'll see which one he's going to take. Karitvat, made to act. Karitvat, karyam, it comes from the karitvat, being made to act as just as an instrument. We are all karanas, right? So even though it has a picture of innumerable impressions, It is made to act for a higher purpose, to completely disconnect from the external manifestation, or connect with higher reality. So this is the summary he's saying. He's saying even though it has a picture of innumerable impressions, which one? The chitta, right? The chitta, even though it has a picture of innumerable impressions, the sanskaras, it is made to act for a higher purpose. Why? Because it fell silent. And the buddhi, swa buddhi, that is the wisdom from Purusha, from Sattva Purusha, because it has come, because we are in that state, it is made to act for a higher purpose, to completely disconnect or connect with higher reality. So we understand now when the chittavrittis fall silent and this connection is made, what is also going to come to us is that understanding that we are here for a higher purpose. So let's see in summary somewhere here. Yeah, let's read this here. So, although we have come only up to 24, 25 and 26 we are yet to cover, but that's okay. The sutras show the progress of dhyana into samadhi. It is the lowest level of samadhi experience that is temporary, sabija samadhi. The person has developed some intuitive understanding and developed the ability to be an observer sometimes, but not at all times. From here, there are more sanskaras that needed to be cleaned out. This is noted in the next few sutras, so we have not covered that. In fact, all of these sutras can be understood in conjunction with previous experience into the dhyana and samadhi processes described in earlier chapters. In fact, the exact parallel between sutras 22 and 311 must be understood for a deeper understanding how samadhi takes place. The word sanghatya in Sutra 424, which we have not covered, I believe. So why don't we cover that?
We just now did that, Kumar. We were doing 424.
Oh, we were doing 424. Okay.
That's where there were two meanings for samhatya, the implied meaning and original meaning.
Oh, yeah. The word sanghatya has to be understood in its root meaning to appreciate the importance of the statement. The word ha is associated with the bija mantra of the Vishuddhi chakra, which is the point of connection or separation between physical and spiritual reality, right? So, Vishuddhi chakra, which is in the throat area, in the pit of the throat, we say hum, right, to activate that. So from there, the word hasta for hand represents the organ that connects. The word hatha represents to kill or physically terminate, to enable a higher realization. Hatha, hatam. In Sanskrit, we say hatam, to kill, to sever, to separate, to cut out. That word is used, hatam. And that's how that word Brahmahatti came. Hatti, Brahmahatti. One who kills a Brahmin is called Brahmahatti. The word hatha represents to kill or physically terminate to enable the higher realization. Thus, the word hatya can be understood, sanghatya. So, The word hatya can be understood as that which causes dissociation by killing or association by higher realization. A prefix some connotes completeness as previously discussed. We know some means samyak. Samyak means complete, full, very good. So these are all the various synonyms of some. Samyak. Normally they will ask katam asti in Sanskrit. Katam asti, how are you? Samyak asti. I am very good. In Tamil we ask, right? Saukyama. Then we say Saukyam, Ramba Saukyam. How? எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? Saukyam. So it's similar to that. Katam asti. Samyak asti. Samyak asmi. When I say, point to myself, I will say Samyak asmi. So, some hatya. That's what it means. Hatya is to disconnect. So I'm saying I'm disconnecting from my physical body to becoming completely associated with the chitta or the higher self. So that's the Sanghatya thing. Okay, good. Any questions, people? We have covered, I think, enough for today.
Can you please display the 4.24?
Yeah. There it is. Any questions on this? I stop the share.
Yes,
Okay.
Kumarji. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. So we saw some very important sutras, and whatever you have seen in the earlier chapters, now we are seeing a progression from how as the chitta falls silent because the chitta vrittis have been quietened and the chitta has no work to do, how this connectivity with Purusha takes place and how the intelligence is coming into us, all that we saw in the sutras today. So, any questions on what we covered today? So, okay. And as you think about it, we will jump to the poll 29, where there was a lot of discussion about gold and carbon. So, what we must understand, or what we have misunderstood probably, is when we say matter is the same, we must go look deep and see within the element. We have seen the periodic table. The periodic table, very clearly we said, where is Sureshji? Is he here? Oh, he's there. This is for you. we saw, when we saw the periodic table, we saw that each element has, if you go to the atom level, the smallest part, and within that smaller part, within the smallest part, within that atom, we saw there are subatomic particles, the electrons, protons, and neutrons. We saw that. And then we said, oh, each element does not contain the same number of protons, electrons, and neutrons. They have different, they have different numbers. That's what we defined with that atomic number. We saw that. But when we see this, look at the I'm only saying, look at the electrons. The fundamental particle I'm saying is the electrons, protons, and neutrons. We are not going below that. You look at them. Is the electron in gold, is it any different from the electron in carbon? Rajeshri, tell me. The numbers are different. We are not talking about the numbers. Is the electron in gold any different from the electron in carbon? You have to unmute. Please unmute.
I don't know the composition of the electrons or protons or anything, but the element.
You attended the periodic table class?
Yes, I did.
Oh, as part of the periodic table presentation, he said electron, its charge is this much. That's all we discussed. And he didn't say the charge is this much for gold, the charge is this much for silver. Did we discuss anything like that?
No.
No. Which means the electron is the same. Whether it is gold or silver or any element, it is the same. There is no different. Similarly, the electron is a negatively charged subatomic particle. Proton is the positively charged subatomic particle. Is there any difference between did we discuss anything saying a proton in gold is like this, proton in silver is like that? Did we discuss anything like that?
No.
We did not. Did we say similar thing? Similarly, did we say anything about like that for neutron?
No.
No, we didn't. So, the subatomic particles are identical. Whether you take gold or silver or carbon or water, no difference. Correct?
Yes.
And finally, all elements are made of subatomic particles, correct?
Yes.
In different numbers. The numbers are different in each element is because of the chitta of that element.
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
So, which means fundamentally all elements, fundamental particles are the same, no different. Electrons, protons, and neutrons in gold, same as the electrons, protons, neutrons in silver or carbon or uranium. It doesn't matter. Is it not?
Yes.
And those are the very same elements that are existing in the human body. Those are the very same elements that are existing in various objects that we see around us. Still confusion. I don't see
All
clarity.
I remember is all I remember was Ushaji said the diamond is the same, and
Ushaji did not give the presentation. There was a
but
presentation.
then she said I remembered that.
No, there is a presentation. I keep saying go and watch April 18th video. Didn't I say that?
Yes, sir.
April, Mohan spent so much of time in presenting that video, April 18th video, on April 18th. Why do we make these presentations? Just so that you understand it absolutely 100% with 100% clarity. Yogeshwaran, this is also for you.
Okay. Yeah.
You give me Dimiki, you don't poll, you don't vote in the poll.
No, I voted in some of them.
When?
Yeah,
2
I
minutes
think.
before the class?
No. Poll 30. Other ones I did vote.
No, poll 29. This is poll 29 we are talking about, not poll 30. I even sent you a personal note. You read only what is convenient to you.
I was going to vote on it.
So, we have to understand why this Dr. Rajan's, when Dr. Rajan makes, when he teaches the PYS class, he doesn't talk about periodic table and all that. Maybe he might mention it on the fly. Why we take so much of pain to present it is so that you understand it absolutely 100% with 100% clarity. This class, when you come to this class, you have to focus, you have to understand. This is not like regular discourse. Otherwise, you'll at the end of the class you will have more confusion. You have come to this class to get clarity, and then you will walk away with more confusion. What is the use? And you're spending 2 precious hours every Saturday. Madhavi, do you understand now? And you didn't even know what we are talking about as fundamental particle. This is the 3rd class that you are attending. 2nd or 3rd? I don't remember. 3rd.
Second one.
2nd. You already saw the presentation in the previous class. Because of Sureshji's answer, all these things have come out. So I have to thank Sureshji for posting a wrong answer. So one part of the answer was correct. He said nicely about everything same electron. And then when he came to gold and carbon, he got confused and he said, oh, they're different. Because he just looked at the gold and carbon as they are and not deep into it at the subatomic level. There were only 2 or 3 who gave me the correct explanation. One of them is my sister. Is she here? Maybe she's gone.
Well, that means that the question wasn't pure enough. Question wasn't clear enough. That means we all did not understand.
That is
why.
also possible. That's
Pardon?
possible too.
Yes.
Because the question arose from Sureshji's answer. He just said gold and carbon are different. So I just said, do you agree? I left it at that. I didn't go deeper into it. Anyways, but even those who answered incorrectly, I gave them an opportunity to explain themselves. And nobody said, oh, it is because of the chitta I said that. No one said that. Excepting maybe one or 2 maybe.
I think it's because the question wasn't clear enough what you meant.
I
think you needed
understand.
2 extra words to clarify exactly what you mean. And there was no space to explain ourselves or ask.
Katya and I, see, that is why when people polled, I sent them individually, I sent them messages. Come on, justify. So then they could have said, oh, because the chitta is different. So that's why gold is different from carbon. Right? They didn't say that.
That part I understood, sir. Chitta is different. But I thought, like, to give an explanation on the periodic table and all, I had to read that. So I didn't answer. I couldn't. I thought I'll read it again and then.
No. I didn't say that you have to give an explanation about the periodic table. I said
That's what.
we covered that day also, that when you go right into the atom, and then we divided and then we saw into the atom of each element. And that's what we posted. That's what is posted in the periodic table. The periodic table for each element contains what is inside that atom. How many electrons are there? How many protons are there? That's what it is there in the periodic table. At that point, I remember clearly. I don't know how many remember. Many did not remember. Some, only a few remember. That I mentioned it very clearly. Though the number of electrons in each element is different because of the chitta, but the electron by itself in each element, the electron in gold is the same as the electron in silver. There's no difference.
Well, I was a teacher once in my life, and I learned something that from answers students give me means understood or not. And if they didn't understand, fault is in me, because there was something I could not get why they didn't understand. Therefore, there's something in my explanation that went wrong. So I have to alter the angle of explanation.
Absolutely. Point well taken. And that's why I keep asking in the class, please, if you have not understood, ask. That is why I ask many questions, just to find out if it has gone in. And one or two people answer, the others keep quiet and they nod. So I have to move on. And then I pose this poll. There was an earlier poll and people answered, I think we discussed that, which was on similar lines. And they answered it correctly. And when it came to Suresh's answer, then, like you said, maybe it was not clear and things like that. Anyways, the fact of the matter is, we got to understand. And because I have said this many times in the class, even before coming to that sutra, I said I'm going to prove to you in chapter 4 that everything is same, that gold is same as carbon. Right?
But I mean, why we say the gold defined differently? Gold, carbon, iron. So I mean, there be some electrons and protons.
You think about it. What people are. Please mute yourselves. Let one of you talk.
Maybe we need.
Let Sureshji talk. Yes, Sureshji.
What I say that matter is the same, electron for everybody, same matter, but we define differently for different elements. So because of their
why is Sureshji different from Kumar?
Yeah, because we have different chittas.
Same thing with elements. Same thing with elements. Gold is different from carbon because of, but fundamental particle.
But that's what my explanation was. Explanation was a different chittas. That's what my explanation. Because matter is the same, but gold and carbon is a different.
Carbon and gold are different because of the chitta. They have different chitta.
That's what my explanation was.
The matter is the same. The question was about matter and not about chitta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
When we are in the 4th chapter, we have to be very, very clear what is matter. What is chitta.
I'm breathing.
Oh. Yeah, please put an iodine or no, sorry.
What is the matter with this chitta? So,
So I think
yeah.
the confusion,
Yes.
suppose, is instead of asking is gold and carbon same, then people are trying to imagine how can they be same, whether they are made of the same fundamental particle. Like if you say, for example, house. Is there a house difference between this house and that house? Yes, there is a
Yes, there
difference.
is. Yes.
But they are all made of the same brick.
True.
Yeah.
Actually, the question that whole 29 was from Suresh's answer. So I didn't elaborate on that. We
Yeah.
already had a poll on this
Yeah.
carbon gold the earlier week, and everyone answered it. Mostly, I think most of the people answered it correctly. Because it followed direct from the periodic table, people associated with it, they got through. See,
If you want, I can confuse the issue a little bit more.
no, another day. Let this settle into them.
Yeah.
You post that, make that recording and send it to me.
Agreed.
Any questions? Now, do we understand this fundamental particle very well?
Okay.
Okay. I'm assuming silence is acceptance. Any other question?
So those who answered yes, it's because it looks different in structure. Structure-wise, it is different. That's why they said yes.
Yes, one is precious, the other is not precious. At least carbon that we know. I'm talking about carbon that we know. There are carbons which are also very, very precious. Carbons are also there, like diamond, right?
Structure-wise, money-wise, it is different. That's why yes.
When I say precious, we have to use the materialistic term, money. So carbon in the form of diamond is very, very precious, correct? Whereas carbon in the form of charcoal is cheap. You can get it for free. But both are carbon, correct? Both are made of carbon atoms.
So that's the reason for yes. That's the reason for yes. Replied. Poll replied, they replied yes.
Yeah. The poll, they said yes because they compared gold with carbon, and maybe they used carbon. They always visualized charcoal or coal or whatever.
Okay.
So we have done.
I was I'm wondering to ask a question about self-intelligence based on the sutras that we had today. And I was thinking samadhi was like that place where there's peace and there's not intelligence. Like we're just in a place. No. Okay, my question is what's considered intelligence, right? So, we have experiences in meditation. The chitta stops and chills out. So yeah, I guess I'm wondering, like, we're in an experience, right? Or maybe like when we're sleeping and we have dreams, that might also be another way to just have that conversation around self-intelligence. What is like intelligent? Is it like when we have the epiphany? You said something around that realization.
Let's say let's take a material example. It probably makes sense. From thinking that world is flat, the world is sphere. Would you consider that as intelligence?
So for excuse me, for somebody to see the world flat, that is an intelligence. And for someone to see the world round, that's an intelligence.
No, I'm saying when we moved from flat to a spherical world, the transition I'm saying, isn't that intelligence?
So, isn't that like an evolution, experiential, like
No,
we
you're
evolved
using a
through
different
learning?
word. I'm saying, isn't that intelligence? That's my question.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
It is an intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, did it come only by one's own thinking? Although scientifically, we said, oh, they sat on the beach, or they sat on some high tower, and they were watching ships coming, and they initially saw the front part of the ship, and then slowly, little by little, they saw bigger and bigger part. Whereas if it was flat, they should have been able to see the full part of the ship always, not little bit at a time. And that's why that was one more hypothesis for the. So these are all the things that we studied. It's not from that observation to come to the fact that it is spherical. Something had to happen, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling that as intelligence. That is the time when it opened up.
You can't unsee it. You can't like say it's flat anymore.
Yeah,
With
100 people
that
sat
having
on the
to-
beach and watched this, and only one guy got it.
His
Right?
shit is he was open to learn. Yeah, I
Yeah.
meet his intelligence. Thank you.
Yeah. Thousands of people have had this samadhi, but there is only one. Dr. Rajan got to that point of measured yoga therapy. He said, "Oh, I should do this." Right? So where is that intelligence coming from? It's not of this world. That's what I'm saying. Apar, beyond a human understanding, beyond human. That's why I hate to say human intelligence. There is nothing called human intelligence. It is all that which has come from there, and that's how we have understood, and that's how we perceive things. If you ponder a lot, you will understand each and everything has come from that Purusha, from here. And that's how we have developed the database, which we call ours.
I have some, curiosity questions, not related to yoga. We are human in Earth, right? But is there any more intelligent people, intelligent object or something than humans in the world?
Research is still going on. Research is still going.
And compared to whole universe, we are non-existent actually. See, we are very, very, very tiny thing. In the whole universe is so infinite, so much, and our existence is nothing. Still we are talking about, no.
Even within our own solar system, we are insignificant. We are not a very huge thing. There are other planets which are much, much bigger than us.
Right, yeah. We are insignificant. So
finally, if we look at us, we are just like an electron, or even smaller than that, and we make so much of noise.
Yes, right. Yes, so we are talking about merging with universe, merging with Purusa and everything.
So we are so yeah, each one of us is in the bigger picture. We are so insignificant, but we make the biggest noise saying that, oh, my pain, my suffering, only I know. How, how stupid, ridiculous.
Okay. Yeah.
A couple of days back, I posted something, Madhavi posted an article on how a man who was wrongly imprisoned for 40 years in USA, and recently he was
Reported
was
to India.
no, he was not deported. There was a
Discussion?
petition to deport him,
Mm.
but then he fought against his family fought against him, and they got a ruling that he need not be that he cannot be deported. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is he was in the prison for over 40 years, 42 years or something like that for a murder that he did not commit. So Madhavi sent that to me first and said, horror of horrors, how terrible this is. And then she asked me, sir, is this karma? So then I shot back to her saying, you tell me. Then she said, yes, it is karma, but I cannot accept somebody being in the prison.
Sir, you posted the entire
well,
conversation in the group.
Yeah.
Everybody read.
Incorrectly for 40, etc. Right? So then she shot back saying that dharma, adharma prevailed over karma. Right? I mean, because finally they figured out that some evidence that was presented for this person to have been put in the prison was actually cooked up or some incorrect information, and obviously the judge, he cannot go and find out whether it is incorrect information. I mean, to an extent, he would have asked some questions. From that, it was not clear. So he ruled based on that. So how we have to look at all these things is the play of karma. It will blind the judge. It will make sure wrong evidence is presented. And even that wrong evidence, in some cases, the judge and the other defense, there is also a defense attorney for that person, right? The defense attorney they're all very sharp people. So they would catch it. They would say, this evidence is lacking authenticity. They would say that. They would find out. So none of those things happened in this case for a reason. For a reason. Simply, you have to look at it from the karmic point of view. We do not know, none of us know what kind of karma that person committed in the previous janmas or janmas. We don't know. And we are now sitting and judging, saying that this is wrong. That's what we have to look at. After studying Patanjali Sutra for 8 months or 10 months or 2 years or 3 years, and still if you are going to fight the karmic thing, it makes no sense.
You know, could I say also another possibility is that in that time that he was in prison, you know, he may have been making an impact with people on the inside, you know, like what if that even was his contract, was to like go in and like save someone from being killed, from being shanked or something, or you know what I mean? It's so big when you really think about it that once you're in there, you do make like a life. And
Actually,
Actually, he did.
this man studied and he got a couple of degrees or whatever. And he also mentored a lot of people being inside the prison. He did all that. I don't know whether he took Patanjali Yoga Sutras and studied it, and he would have got answers for why he is inside the prison for 40 years, right? Maybe he did. We don't know. That part is not very clear because even if see that the media doesn't want to probably bring out those kinds of things. The good part. Yes, Tatiana.
Whether a person committed murder or not can be seen in Chinese astrology. I'm still studying it, and it is possible to say yes or no. I follow daily news, and often I make if I obtain a birthday, I will make a chart where I can see the person is guilty or not. What I found out, that person is guilty, but they have a special deity there that helps them to cover up and look completely innocent, and everybody will believe them. Now, that is in their horoscope, and I would say a horoscope is a karma. So, therefore, there are lots of people who killed are going free because they have this special sign that gives them ability to act as innocents and whatever. And often people who, there are not many people who did not commit crime in a jail. And there are lots of people who committed the crime go free because they have that sign in horoscope. And I often was tempted to write to newspapers or write to judge that I could help them to not to stick, innocent people in the jail. But then I did a special question put up to heaven and ask if it's correct for me to do, and it says no. Be silent. So that's what I do. But I'm just telling you now that it is possible, but people are not interested. They believe that.
The thing, Tatiana, is if somebody is going to be incarcerated for a crime that they did not do, and they fought, nobody gets imprisoned just like that. There is a hearing, there is a trial, and all that. Despite that, all that, they are taken to prison. Don't we have to see it as the hand of karma? And that's what the message you got from heaven, from upstairs, that don't interfere in karma.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, it could have been follow up from the past life. So I believe all those got into the jail, they are punished for something. And if people come out and they claim they are completely innocent and they get paid for it, for all the earnings they should have earned while being in a jail, that's another crime what they are doing.
See, we are talking about crime where a person goes to jail. A bad marriage is also like that, is it not? Only thing is, it is not in jail; it is outside. But still, only thing is you have the freedom to walk away from a bad marriage. But why did those two people come together? Purely because of karma.
Yes, to learn something from each other. So they are really in a jail that they have to self-improve instead of whatever, just sit and suffer.
Absolutely. I wish this man who was in the prison for 40 years, 40 plus years, had had access to, I'm sure you would have probably read Bhagavad Gita for sure. I'm sure about that. That should have given him enough insights. I only wish that he had access to Patanjali Yoga Sutras, because I feel this goes a lot deeper than, this is my own, my own take, that this goes a lot deeper than Bhagavad Gita. I'm not comparing the two. It is just my understanding. So maybe he then would have told his people, come on, people, take it easy. I'm in the prison for a reason, and I'm peaceful. And he would have written a letter to Madhavi saying that, don't worry about this. I'm in the prison because of, for dharmic reasons, I'm here. Because
Okay, from my point.
I'm such a terrible adharma I committed in my previous births. That's why I'm here. And Madhavi would have been at peace. Now she is very agitated,
Not
unfortunately.
agitated. I want to tell you from my point of view. First, if you sends me a letter, I will put it in your WhatsApp message, sir. Second point, if anybody attend any session for 8 months or 2 sessions or 3 sessions, Ishvara has to give the point to their mind. Nobody
That's
can judge that decision is wrong or not. When Ishvara connected me to at that point with the topic, I will understand. If I attend 8 sessions, 10 sessions, 100 test sessions, time has to come. That is my point in this matter. That's it.
time will come if you focus. Time will come if you focus.
Without focusing, I did not read that article. I did not discuss with you, sir.
No. I'm not talking about this murder thing. I'm saying the murder thing, we have to accept it as a karmic consequence. When there is a karmic thing, we don't know all the details. As of today, we don't know the details as what happened in all those previous births, do we? We don't. How can we make a judgment based on what we know today? That is incorrect. That's all I'm saying. When I say today, I'm saying even what the judgment was given 40 years back is in the current birth. It has nothing, we don't know anything about what happened in the previous births.
Still,
That
I
is
did
what,
not agree with that point and I did not vote. I decided I don't want to vote for that poll.
that again tells me that it is, you're still disturbed. That's fine.
I'm not, see, he's
Yes.
not at all my relative, my brother or my sister. But
Doesn't
in
matter,
my
Madhavi.
point of view, it is not.
Doesn't matter, Madhavi. See, the question was, the question was only, is it karmic consequence or not? That's all. Right or wrong, we did not ask. The question was not about right or wrong. The question was, do you understand it as a karmic consequence? That's all was the question.
So everything
And
is
if it's a
good.
karmic consequence, we have no right to judge that this person is. That's why I
Yes.
wrote it, saying there are so many people, they don't even know if they are going to get the next meal. The moment they finish one meal, they have to start thinking about the next meal. Where am I? How am I going to get it? Where am I going to get it? There were hold on. There were two gentlemen. This happened maybe 5 to 7 years back in Bangalore. They were working in an IT company, and suddenly these two girls got a brainwave that they wanted to experience how an urchin on the road feels, a homeless person. So these two fellows left their job for 1 year and they said, okay, let's try it out for 1 year.
Yeah, I read about that article. He got the award also.
I don't know about the award. I have discussed this in the class also earlier, in the earlier sessions. In our class, I don't know if I discussed this. So these two fellows, then they left their job, or took a sabbatical or whatever for 1 year, and they said we have to try it for 1 year. So they gave up, and then they said, how do we live like a poor? So they had to come up with some rules, and then they said, okay, the way we are going to do that is we'll take the poverty line, what the government of India has declared as poverty line, which was, I think, at that time was 700 rupees a day or something, 750 rupees a month, something like that, which came to some 30 rupees a day or 40 rupees a day, something like that. 30 rupees a day, 25 rupees a day, correct, 25 rupees a day. So they had to find accommodation in the 25 rupees a day. They had to eat 3 meals a day, 2 meals or 3 meals or whatever. So at the end of that 1 year is when Madhuri has pointed out, somebody spoke to them, or they came and explained their experiences. And one of the main things they said was, the moment they finished one meal, they had to start thinking about what they will do for the next meal. In their case, they had money in their hand. Okay. Meaning for that day, they had allocated 25 rupees. They had that money. Many poor people don't have that money in their hand at that time. In the morning when they wake up, they probably don't even have money to get a cup of tea or get a slice of bread. They don't have. How can you and I, sitting in comfort, where we are not worried about meal for the next 10 years? We have to cook, that's a different thing. We know for the next 10 years we have necessary resources to buy food for the next 20 years. How can we understand that? When I don't have money to buy a morning cup of tea or morning breakfast, I'm hungry, just like anybody else.
But that applies only to India, yes? It doesn't apply to England, for example, because here we have state handouts, which are more than enough to eat every day and have a good life. My brother and sister studied psychology, and my brother decided to test it, what it is, when he came to England. So he lived on handouts. He could even save money on that. He found out how to get food. He would go to supermarkets to buy food when they are putting the price down. The stuff they couldn't sell today, before 2 hours before closure of supermarket, they are down to 10 cents or 20 cents. And he went there. He found out when is bread cheaper, when is meat cheaper, when is vegetables. And he came home with huge bags. Every night he had more than he needed. He didn't go and buy a cup of tea. He didn't go buy coffee. He made it at home himself. So there was plenty to live on. And you know what? He stayed like that for the rest of his life, for the last 20 or 30 years. He lived on a state handout. He says, why should I work? Why do I work? I work because I have to provide for my needs. But why should he work? Because the state gave him every month, regularly came the check for him. And he used that wisely, and he had lots of time to read literature he never could. He lived like very comfortably. So maybe it applies to India, but not to developed countries like and in whole Europe it's the same thing. They just get money when they ask. They said they cannot find the job, and they get automatically they pay the rent, they pay for everything. There are even some people sent on holidays. I met some people. What are you doing here? You are on benefits. I said, well, I was sent to experience how it is when I am richer. My God, this is beyond understanding, but that's what is happening.
Because it's karma, because he born in England. So it all depends on karma. His karma was good, so he born in England. So it all depends on the karma. Where you born, what your karma is, When you die, there is karma, like war is going on in Iran and Iraq, people dying because of that karma. So karma
Yes,
applies everywhere.
But it's not only karma, it could be also intelligence here. I didn't understand what intelligence is. The question was put out. So, but I would say intelligence is to understand the system and exploit it, put it to use.
Yeah, but that is also karma. He got intelligence because of his previous karma. So all ways is karma. So I mean, the thing is, we don't have to react. If you react and you build your own karma. But so
Even in India, this the present government is working on this kind of dole to people below poverty line, and they want to make sure that people are not on the streets and suffer and struggling for food. And I mean, it's a long road before India gets to a point where everyone has at least 2 meals a day or 3 meals a day. It will happen. It will happen one day, but uh, it's something that they are working on. But the point is not. The point is, if I have food, then I will be unhappy about something else. See, in US also we have this dole system. We have the government gives money and all that.
Food
But I still
stamps.
find homeless people on the sidewalk. When I go for a walk, once in a while I'll see they are on the sidewalk. So I used to. The thing is, wherever they can stay, as a homeless person can stay, they don't want to be there. They want this freedom.
Exactly.
They don't like that. They don't
Yes.
like that food. They don't like that food there. So this fellow sleeps on the sidewalk, and one fellow became even more creative. He put a hammock on the sidewalk between two trees, and he's happily sleeping on the hammock.
Yes, those are kind of people who are not compliant. They would have to comply and give address and be good and pretend they're subservient and hopeless, but they actually don't like getting those money. They like the freedom, and that's why they become homeless, because the state will pay for the rent. They love.
The reasons I'm saying.
They love the way of life.
They don't like that to be in a place where they are constrained with so many other people. They probably put 10 people in a room, like a dorm, and they don't like it. So they come to the sidewalk, and in summer it can be brutal. So when it is really warm and hot in summer, maybe they will go into a mall and sleep there. And in mall also at 10 o'clock in the night they close. 10 or 11, whatever time they close, they will make sure that there is nobody inside. So by the time the temperatures have fallen enough to probably stay outside, and morning as soon as the mall opens, they can again go into the air conditioned comfort. That is possible. But what I'm saying is, one may be getting food, but then I'm going to be unhappy about something else. That I don't have this, I don't have that. Right? So when will that die? That will die only with jnana. That will die only with that connectivity with the Purusha, with Ishvara. Otherwise, that's not going to die.
Yeah, this reminds me of one book, where they would be jailed for a crime they didn't do. And I read, this is a classic by Alexander Dumas. It's called The Count of Monte Cristo. So that is a really popular one. It reminds me, it's fiction, but it's just so well written. I read it not in its entirety, but almost like halfway. So, but it's really well written, like over 1,000 pages. It's hard to read, but the guy would get jailed and then for a crime he didn't do, and he somehow would escape. That was also the part of it. And by the guy in his neighboring cell, he would talk to him. He was aged, so he would pass away, and then finally he would go out as him, and then they would or put him together, and then they would toss him into the ocean with a rock, so he would sink to the bottom, and he would uh, have the capacity to keep a knife or something to not get to the bottom and escape midway, and then start his life anew somewhere else. And then it's a very interesting read. So that reminds me of that. So he was put in jail. He didn't commit the crime, so
So that's why there is one high security prison in USA, Alcatraz. It used to be
oh, and his
in
former
San
girlfriend.
Francisco. It's an island
Okay.
of San Francisco, just off the Bay of San Francisco, Alcatraz. If
Oh,
I've been there, they take you can go on a
You
tour to
go
Alcatraz.
next to Golden Bridge. You can see from
Yes,
there.
yes.
oh,
So why they chose that was these extraordinary criminals. They
hmm.
always found a way to break out of the prison.
Oh,
Somehow they found a way to break out of the prison. So then they put this in an island where to come to this. It can see actually from the seashore, from the bay. You can see Alcatraz Island. You can see that.
we've
I
seen it.
don't.
Actually.
There is a
I,
movie. There is a movie called Escape from Alcatraz,
yeah.
of a true story of a person who escaped, by Clint Eastwood is acted.
Yes.
See that. That
Oh,
gives you all the details.
Yes. Very interesting. I went to that island to see what it is. They
oh,
take you on a tour. It's a kind of a short cruise, maybe 10 minutes by boat to get there,
hmm,
to my boat or boat to
okay.
get there. They take you there and show you everything, and then they show all uh, these high value prisoners who were there. So the reason they chose that place was from that island to swim, even if you're a great swimmer, the
Oh,
water is cold, and there are currents
oh,
which can push you.
okay,
And I think sharks are also there.
okay.
So it's very difficult to escape from, or nearly impossible. And
Oh,
people who tried, most of them did not survive.
well,
Yeah.
okay,
Excepting in the Clint Eastwood movie based on real incident.
okay.
So what Mohan is saying is nothing is foolproof.
Yeah.
But
Not only
anyway,
that.
Alcatraz is no longer functioning as a prison because of various reasons. They they probably thought it is all inhuman to.
Not only that, um, see, whatever knowledge we get, our intelligence is only from what we know.
Yes.
And then we play a guess game, right? Guessing game. So it's told, for example, physics, all the laws we discovered, we found, is not that we invented, right? Physics law, everything. So it's like you watch two people playing chess, and you can, by looking at it, observing, you can probably build most of the rules. But you can watch for 1 million years. If these people never used castling, you will never know that there is a rule called castling, right? You know the castling, in the end. So we can never assume that we know everything. Like till recently, or 1 century back, we all thought that a triangle should be all internal angles will add up to 180 degrees. Till somebody said that in a space it doesn't work. It is more than 180. So because we didn't know about that. In fact, there is a very Simpson, if people have been watching Homer Simpson, there are a lot of mathematics and he makes fun of a lot of things, from religion to everything. So there is an equation where he writes in the board where it says some 3605 something by power 12 plus something something power 12 equal to something power 12. It's a Fermat theorem which says that there is no proof, nobody had proved that there is no solution for a power, we all know a power, a square plus b square equal to c square works, but anything more than 2 doesn't work. And that is Fermat's theorem. And people have offered $1 million to prove that. And only in 1990 or something, somebody proved it with a 300-page mathematical theory. And Fermat wrote in a small corner that this is obvious and can be very easily proved. But at that time, he didn't know all these mathematical advances. So they do not know what he referred to. So in Simpson, he wrote that when people checked it was true, provided you are using a calculator which is only 10 digit accuracy. If you try it on a computer, you will see that they are different. It doesn't work. So we all work within a framework what we know. Like, for example, we talked about flat earth. And earth is still flat because it has not gone to space and it's too small, or a bacteria, it's always flat. So you can't say that you are wrong because for that size and everything, that's what it is. But you cannot assume that we know everything. That's what it comes to.
Actually, there is a insect called a love bug. So normally in tropical places, it comes in the time of spring to summer, around April. Now around April, May, it will start, or it will be there for about a month or so, and then it will be gone. And then again it will come at fall for about a year, about a month, and then again it will go. So if you look at that love bug, it only knows that 1 month. So as far as it knows, it only knows that spring summer transition. It doesn't know summer, it doesn't know winter.
Correct.
It doesn't know that. All that it knows is these 2 seasons. It could be either the spring to summer transition or fall to winter transition. So it doesn't know, summer to fall transition. It doesn't know any of the other seasons. So depending on where we are, we can continue to be in that framework. That's why we normally say think out of the box. Only in that thinking, only in that seeking can we find the truth. When I say when we find the truth, it has to be given. Even if the truth is in the book and I keep, I go through thousands of books and finally after 50 years, the truth is in one book. I might claim that I found the truth in that book, but in reality, Ishvara had to lead me there. Probably Ishvara told me 50 years back, I did not listen because of my chittavrittis. This is what happens to us in life. Many solutions in life, we don't take them up because we don't listen. We don't listen. We don't pay attention to the conscience. We don't pay attention to the message that is coming from outside.
Could it be because we are made like that?
Our kleshas prevent us from doing it. Our samskaras. or samskaras. The sutra, we saw that, right? Only when the chitta vritti falls can we see that intelligence coming in.
So what is intelligence then?
That which comes from above. That which comes from above.
So you don't have to ask for it.
You don't have to. When you say you don't have to ask for it, your chitta vrittis have to fall silent, and you have to place questions. It's not going to just pour down and give you everything. No.
So you have to be clever to ask.
You have to ask a question and then answer will. Yes.
So that's why there is a difference between wise and intelligent.
Between?
There is a difference between being wise and intelligent.
Wise.
Wise,
WIS.
I understood. Yeah. Wisdom, I'm putting everything together. Wisdom, intelligence, because in Sanskritam, we say buddhi. Sometimes we'll say jnana. It all means the same. It all means it's coming from above. The only way I differentiate is when I claim that I am intelligent. I am self-intelligent. That is the problem I have. There is nothing called that I am intelligent on my own. It has come from there. That understanding we must have. That humility we must have. That's always my point. On that note, can we close the session?
Yeah. So one thing, my suggestion, Kumar, that next class maybe you should spend only going through again from 4.1 to whatever we had done, because it's a very complicated sutras in chapter 4.
So next Saturday we want to do that?
I would like to do.
Okay. We will do a review from 4.1 all the way to...
Especially 4.8 to 4.12 or something. It's quite confusing, each of the sutras.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.